Hear me.
Why did you
She
stop
says,
the video?
yeah, because it just said it went off, right? Hello? No, I don't know whether
I'm supposed to join it.
the people have gone. No,
Why
everybody's
did
gone
you
off.
join?
Array went off on its own. I didn't stop. Can I be seen? Can I be heard? Okay. I'm glad. I'm glad. I think we're getting back. There was a technical glitch and suddenly I went off air. So, talking about pressure, again, you're going to be meeting a lot of people in your life. You're going to be you're going to be advised by several people in your life. प्रेशर नहीं लेना चाहिए, बच्चों को प्रेशर नहीं देना चाहिए, या हमें प्रेशर नहीं लेना चाहिए. The fact of the matter, boys and girls, is life is full of pressure filled situations. The fact of the matter is life is a place. Okay, Vasudha ma'am is trying to enter the room again. Life is a life is a place, life is a journey where it's important that we learn to handle pressure, where it's important that we do not run away from pressure, and where it's important that we learn and distinctly understand what our coping mechanism for any pressure situation is. And what are the pressure situations that we have been facing today is the vanishing act of Dr. Vasudha ma'am and the reappearing act of Dr. Vasudha ma'am, and me not really knowing what to do. But the fact of the matter is, we are handling AI right now, we are handling technical right now, we are handling Facebook right now, we are going on air live right now. So, a million things could go wrong. And when a million things can go wrong, trust me, several things could definitely go wrong. Vasudha ma'am, welcome aboard. There
Thank
are
you, sir.
people looking at us, visiting us, and hearing us right now. And I have apologized for our technical glitch. And we will probably be doing this session sometime again at a different level altogether, where we will try and stitch up all the gaps that we had today and be ready for new gaps that will happen in the new session with more glitches over there. I now leave the quorum open to Dr. Vasudha Neelmani. Dr. Vasudha Neelmani is a senior educationist. She's a leadership, life, and career coach. She's a faculty of positive psychology. And I think I'll need to stop somewhere because if I start introducing her alphabetically, we're probably going to be ending the session just with her credentials. So I hand over the forum to Dr. Vasudha Neelmani to please guide us and give her inputs on how preparing for exams is important and how we can go about it in a very effective way.
Thank you, Srikanth, sir, and apologies to the viewers for this technical glitch. We were prepared pretty well, but as Srikanth sir said that, some things are not under our control. And I think the virtual world has taught us a lot about how to cope up with the technical glitches, I must say. To the viewers who are watching us, Srikanth sir has covered most of the things. But yes, I would like to share. He said that exams are important, but marks are important, grades are important. So my plea to the young generation who is going to appear for examinations, whether you have your school board examinations, university examinations, competitive examinations, or whatever. So I think I have always believed in if you study for the knowledge and not marks, so when you have the knowledge, the marks will you will attract marks automatically. So you don't need to just study for the marks. In our generation, I think Srikanth sir is a little elder to me, but in my generation also, we were taught to study for the marks, not for the knowledge. So the people who studied for the knowledge, they did pretty well. People who studied for the marks, they got the marks. They actually mugged it up. We used to mug it up, and we used to write our board examinations. So you have to decide whether you want to study for the marks or whether you want to study for the knowledge. Now, there is one thing everyone wants to be, and this is for the parents also, dear parents, that we all want to be successful. We all want our children to be successful. We don't teach them to fall. We don't teach them to fail. We don't teach them to accept the failures or do mistakes. So what happens is we are putting our children into that complacent zone where they feel that, by hook, by crook, by anything, they need to be successful. They need to get good marks. They cannot commit mistakes. They cannot have failures. So what happens with that is that they are so scared to fail. They have that fear of failure within them. And parents, we start over expecting from our children. We start fulfilling our dreams through our children. So let's stop doing that, because maybe your child may not want to be a doctor or an engineer like you, but he can have a very, very successful career in whatever he wants to do. So I would start with one of the very, very important skills, and I call it a study sutra for the young generation. And you can have grab in your paper pens if you want to write it down. Also, you can write it down, and please remember that we remember or we register 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see. So reading and seeing are two different things. 50% of what we see and hear. 80% if we experience the learning ourselves. And 95%, staggering 95% of when we are teaching somebody else. So most of the times, I'll give you a live example. When I was a kid and I was going to write an exam, and just before the exam, if a friend used to ask a particular concept, and I used to tell that particular concept to the child, so we used to revise it together. And if the same question came in the exam, and we thought that we were the luckiest one, that we were able to crack that. So I would also share with you one very, very important thing. So there are two kind of exam preparation. One is the leisure one, in which you are studying from the day one of your school. Day one, when you are in grade 10, you have started studying, and when we are very, very consistent in our efforts. And I don't know, because of the COVID time, online virtual learning, I don't know how many of us were leisure exam preparation, how many of us have done that. Most of us who are, I'm sure, who are attending this session would be the emergency studying kind. So I have some tips for all of you who are into that emergency mode of studying. So don't make the schedule now, because the schedule did not work for you. If the schedule worked, so you would have been a consistent scholar studying for your knowledge. So now, whatever time you have, what you can do is, don't make your schedule. Start studying. If you want to study in the evening, if you are an early riser, you want to study in the morning. So decide that. Prepare your list of must, should, could, wherein there are certain things that you have to do it. Those are the must. There are certain things you can take a break from. And of course, I would say that this social media can go on your could list, where you can just avoid your social media, your Insta, your Facebook, your WhatsApp with your friends. Right now, focus on your studies. And then I think you must sit in a well-lit, well-ventilated room. That will really help you. First of all, we have to accept that we are not prepared. Now, whatever time we have to maximum utilize that time. And very, very important, practice maths, practice the diagrams. Do not read maths and do not read the diagrams. It will not take you anywhere. And these were some quick fix tips for all of you. But when I look at the larger picture, so I would share some words of wisdom, wherein when I have been a school principal for many, many years, and I ask my children when they have not been able to do well, I just ask them, did you give your 100% to what you were doing? Did you give your 100% to what you were studying? And of course, the answer is no. They say that, oh, ma'am, we wish we could have learned better, we could have done better. So, my dear children, whosoever is watching, give 100% to whatever you are doing, if whatever you are studying. Manage your time so well that, you know, when you are giving 100%, chances are very, very rare that you will not succeed. Make mistakes, introspect. So when you fail, you will introspect that what you should not have done to fail. So as Thomas Edison rightly said, I know 10,000 ways of not making a bulb, right? So he had actually faced a lot of failure before he could succeed. I have and always I say, make new mistakes. Worry of failures, don't be scared of mistakes, but always remember those mistakes should not be a result and consequence of your casual approach, of your not giving 100%. When we are doing a lot of work, mistakes might happen. Now, today's example is we were all set for the session, but that technical glitch, technical lapse happened, and we made it up for it. So we have to introspect, reflect, and maybe next time when Srikanth sir and I are doing the session, we will be more prepared and we will see that what we don't have to repeat. So these technical glitches are not coming. Very, very important, students. So there are certain timeless 21st century skills, and there is one skill that has been added. So if I give you a brief, of course, you are Gen Z kids. So you are collaborative, you are critical thinkers, you are creative, you are good communicators. But one thing I would like you to add is to have a very, very flexible and growth mindset. When you are having this flexible and growth mindset, you will be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And before I hand over to Srikanth sir to take it further, I will share my favorite quote by Swami Vivekananda. He said, take risks in life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. So that has been my mantra in my life, and a very very honorable, respected spiritual guru, Sadhguru, he also says that who see life as stepping stone for larger possibilities, there is no failure. So failures are stepping stone to success, and there is no shortcut to success. You have to be consistent, you have to study bit by bit, day by day, and you shall be successful. Thank you, Srikanth sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was a very insightful few minutes. And I'm sure a lot of people must have and should be benefiting from the words that you just shared with us. Taking this forward, so let me move on to now a situation of the third point that we were supposed to be discussing today, and we will be, is how to improve your concentration. So a lot of parents, a lot of children who are in touch with me, who visit me during these last days of exam, or who are in touch with me from earlier in the year, a very common trail of problem that I see across this generation and probably even our generation was about lack of concentration. the common refrain or the common complaint जो सबसे सुनने को मिलता है कि मेरा बच्चा concentrate नहीं करता है, बस उसको किताबों के सामने 10 मिनट से ऊपर उसका ध्यान नहीं लगता है. Let me share with you a few experiences. Concentration, exactly. First, let's understand what concentration is all about. What is concentration? Concentration is the power of focusing your brain and your faculties. Concentration is the power of focusing your brain and your faculties and your attention and dovetailing it and merging it with the power of your will. When the power of your brain, faculties, and attention moves into a single line with the power of your will, that is defined as concentration. So concentration emanates from two fundamental things: your interest and your commitment and willpower. If you're interested in something, more than half your battle is done. If you have a strong commitment and willpower कि मुझे कुछ हासिल करना है, मुझे कहीं पहुंचना है, the other more than half of your battle is won. But the fact of the matter is, we cannot win the war unless both these battles are won. You can't just win one battle, that I'm interested, but I'm sorry I don't have commitment. Or you can't say, I don't have the willpower, but I'm very interested. That's not going to be possible. It is within you. And if it is within you, you have the power of control on it. And if you have the power of control on it, no power on earth can either shake it or bring it with it. It has to be instigated within. So it's driven by the power of your brain faculties and attention, by your interest, and merged into the power of will. So what are the few tips that can improve your concentration? Let me share a few tips with you today. We have paucity of time. We don't have a very long session, but of course, I will encourage all of you to get in touch with me or Dr. Vasudha ma'am or both of us going forward. We'll be more than happy to handhold individuals or groups towards, from now, going up to the board exams, and we have the complete faith and the confidence that we can add quite a bit of a new dimension to your whole preparation and your marks. Tips to increase concentration. Have a single-minded focus on your goal. Single-minded focus on your goal, first of all. Second, cut the flab. Cut the flab. You know what cut the flab is? चर्बी काटो. अगर इतनी सारी चीजें हैं करने के लिए, उन चीजों को पहले छांटो कि क्या चीजें वो हैं जो अभी करने की जरूरत नहीं है या शायद कभी भी करने की. उन सारी चीजों को अपने दिमाग और जहन से निकालिए और अपना एक सिंगल माइंडेड फोकस, सिंगल माइंडेड अटेंशन लाने की चेष्टा करिए. नंबर 3, हम सब मल्टीटास्क करते हैं और हम सब ये जानते हैं कि मल्टीटास्किंग एक लेवल तक ही हो सकता है. मल्टीटास्किंग से किसी भी चीज में एक ही समय में एक ही साथ गहराई में कोई भी काम नहीं हो सकता. We can multitask quickly on 5 things, but all those 5 things can only be done quickly. If you want to do something perfectly well in the best way possible according to your capabilities, drop multitasking. If you've picked up a subject, if you've picked up a line that you need to do for the day, for the hour, for the time of the day, focus on that. Half an hour in this, 15 minutes in something else, half an hour in something else is going to lead you nowhere. Shallowness does not lead to any kind of distance at all. It is only depth that leads to distance. Never ever forget that. Shallowness will not lead to distance. It is depth that gives traction and mileage to any task that you do. Third, for a good concentration and to improve your memory, write. Write. Don't just sit and read it like a novel. I think Vasta ma'am has also touched upon this topic. No leisure studying. She specifically spoke about formulae. She specifically spoke about maths. I am saying specifically about any subject. When you are reading, when you are studying, when you are memorizing, when you are absorbing, it will not happen unless you sit with a paper and pen. Keep writing small words, small sentences, small syllables. Write. When you write, your cognitive power multiplies at least 3 times. When you study something and write alongside, your cognitive power increases 3 times. It goes up multiple times. Start the practice of writing along with your studying. One thing that's often ignored, quality and quantity of sleep. I am stressing on quality as well as quantity of sleep. Important, extremely important. Sleep is the time when your body, mind, your physical and emotional quotient, including your intellect, rest for a while. Unless there is a serious amount of rest, and unless there's a serious amount of bringing down your frequencies to a level where there is calmness, that can happen in only good quality sleep. You're going to be running into very rough weather. Sleep, quality of nutrition. Please add greens, please add nuts, please add dry fruits, please add proteins, and good news, please add dark chocolates to your diet. Dark chocolates have a great way of improving and increasing your metabolism and your memory power. Add dark chocolates to your diet, add proteins, greens, fruits, nuts. It's also not what you eat, it's also about when you eat. The timing of your nutrition is extremely important. Don't overeat, don't undereat. You can never study if you're hungry, and you can never learn if you're burping all the time. डकार मारते मारते कभी पढ़ाई नहीं होगी, ना भूख के कारण पेट को पकड़ के कभी पढ़ाई होगी. हर आधे घंटे में, हर 1 घंटे में, हर मैक्सिमम 2 घंटे में पानी जरूर पीना चाहिए. थोड़ा थोड़ा पानी पीजिएगा. Hydrate your body. Your body hydration is extremely important to keep your juices flowing, to keep your intellectual juices going, to to drive home the point that you are well oxygenated. So good quality of sleep, good quality of nutrition and timely sleep, and always good high quality of hydration is more than important. Take breaks and exercise. If you're studying for, say, an average of, I don't know, I would say anywhere between 7 to 8 hours, going up to 15 hours, and I know children who are doing both ends of the spectrum. Try not to do a continuous session of more than 90 minutes. If you really think you can push yourself with an incredible amount of concentration, 2 hours. After every 1.5 hours to 2 hours, take a break of at least 10 minutes. Stretch your systems, do rotatory movements, do twisting movements, move your neck, stretch your legs, because every time what happens is when you're in a position of stillness for long periods of time, toxins tend to accumulate in our joints. The toxins accumulate, they tend to add to the inertia, right? We lost Dr. Mazda ma'am again, did we?
Yeah,
She's coming back? Okay, she just decided to step out for some reason. All right, so take good breaks and exercise. A 20-minute schedule of exercise in the morning, a 20-minute schedule of exercise in the evening helps big time. Please do your physical activity and exercise. Otherwise, your absorption levels are never going to peak at the right time. Now comes the most important thing, perhaps the last two most important things. Ask yourself and give yourself some honest answers. What is your motivation and what is your reward, whatever you're doing? If you are not driven by the right kind of motivation and the right kind of reward, you are never going to push yourself beyond a point. And unless you practice to challenge yourself all the time, you're never going to be crossing ceilings that you set for yourself. मोटिवेशन और रिवॉर्ड आपके लिए क्या है? जब भी कोई एक चीज पढ़ रहे हैं आप, कोई भी एक नंबर लाना चाहते हैं आप, कहीं भी पहुंचना चाहते हैं आप कहते हैं मुझे ये नंबर चाहिए, चाहिए ही चाहिए। क्यों चाहिए? ये नंबर आने से क्या मिलने वाला है? आगे कहां जाना चाहते हैं आप, ये पहचानना बड़ा जरूरी है। ये जब तक आप नहीं पहचानेंगे तब तक आप अपने आप को ड्राइव नहीं कर पाएंगे, चैलेंज नहीं करेंगे। आप अगर अपने आप को चैलेंज नहीं करते हैं रेगुलरली, या आप किसी के साथ नहीं रहते हैं, आई एम फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वन ऑफ माई प्राइमरी टास्क इज टू चैलेंज द पीपल आई वॉक अलॉन्ग विद। आई चैलेंज देयर गोल्स, आई चैलेंज देयर लिमिट्स। बिकॉज ये जब चैलेंज नहीं करते हैं तो आप अपने आप के लिए एक दायरा बना लेते हैं। जब एक दायरा आप बना लेते हैं और उस दायरे के अंदर ही अपनी खुशी ढूंढने लगते हैं, उसी को कहते हैं कंफर्ट जोन। और जब एक इंसान अपने कंफर्ट जोन में खुश रहने लग जाता है तो वो कभी भी एक लिमिट के ऊपर आगे जाने का प्रयास ही नहीं करता है। और जब तक वो प्रयास चलता है तब तक उम्मीदें कायम होती हैं, और जब तक उम्मीदें कायम होती हैं इंसान नई मंजिलें ढूंढने के लिए निकलता रहता है। तो कंफर्ट जोन में अगर आप बैठ जाएंगे, एंड इफ यू lay back, put your hands behind your head and just stay and say, okay, excellent. Okay, I have a message that Dr. Vasudha ma'am is back. So let's welcome her back. She just said, welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you. There was
How's the weather outside? Pretty warm.
some technical
All
glitch
right.
again. That's okay.
So जब तक आप ये नहीं अपने आप के लिए पहचानेंगे कि आप ये जो भी कर रहे हैं, जिन नंबरों के लिए भी कर रहे हैं, जो भी आप चाहते हैं वो पाने के लिए कर रहे हैं, किस लिए कर रहे हैं, what is your motivation and driving factor? Recognize that. That will help you design your success. Remember, you design your success and you define your success. When you design and define your success, then you are the person in charge of your life. And unless you drive yourself with your motivation after recognizing what it is, you will never challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself, you make a boundary, which is called your comfort zone. You start building your nest. And when you start building your nest, it's very, very important that you lose yourself after that. And when you lose yourself after that, then you don't go beyond a point. And the second most important thing, be firm with yourself. कई बार आप सुनते होंगे हमारे मित्र, हमारे जो वेल विशर्स हैं, हमें कहते हैं one should be very kind with yourself. I probably differ. Yes, be kind with yourself. Don't beat yourself more than you're supposed to be beating yourself. However, अगर किसी चीज को करने का एक निष्ठा कायम किया है आप, उस निष्ठे पे अमल भी तो उतरेंगे। आप अमल कैसे उतरेंगे? Unless you're firm with yourself. Be firm with yourself. Tell yourself that if you need to do something, you need to do something. But then that should be a need. That should not be a want. Please be cautious. So I have two messages after this for two sets of people. One for the bacha log and one for the parent log. Children, boys and girls, stop throwing tantrums in the garb of saying, I'm having mood swings because मुझे बहुत pressure है. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping you. It's not helping your environment. It's not helping your parents. It's not helping your studying, and it's not helping you move forward. And parents, understand that your child is going through a slight pressure situation and their coping mechanism could be different. But at the same time, don't put up with tantrums more than you're supposed to. You need to play an extremely supportive and positive role. during the presentation, during the preparation of your exams of the child. However, it does not mean that you become so elastic that you allow the child to break models of good conduct. बहुत जरूरी होता है. One of the key of successes for an exam is writing notes. So let me give you a couple of very quick tips. जब भी आप कोई भी सब्जेक्ट उठा के पढ़ते हैं, be it history, sociology, psychology, physics, chemistry, maths, biology, English, anything. Like I just said some time ago, write notes. When you're studying something, study it. Don't do casual reading. जब आप पढ़ते हैं तो लिखते रहिए आप क्या पढ़ रहे हैं, because it improves your cognition power. Right? So that is an extremely important part. But in subjects where you have to learn by heart, and in almost every subject, except perhaps English to some extent, you have to learn some things totally solidly. You have to learn the concepts absolutely solidly. You must have a thin book of important concepts written on a daily basis that should be learned, absorbed, learned, absorbed, learned, absorbed every day, at least twice a day. Chemistry, important formulae. Physics, important theorems. Maths, important laws. Physics, important laws. Sociology, important concepts. History, important dates. History, important events. Geography, important data. Any subject, make a thin notebook and write the most important things that you just cannot compromise on. You have to do it. You have to do it. So वो thin notebook ऐसा होता है जहां आपकी बहुत जरूरी चीजें हर रोज आप सुबह दोपहर शाम या एटलीस्ट सुबह शाम हर रोज उसको आप रिवाइज करेंगे. That's extremely important. Make a small diary. Make a small diary and write down every day क्या क्या करना है, आज आपके goals क्या है, आज मुझे क्या क्या पढ़ाई करनी है. These are very little things that improve. You know what they do? They help you at two different levels. You know what they do? One, they help you ease the preparation and decrease the pressure and make yourself more organized. They help you become more organized with your own self. So you know exactly what is being done. And number two, they help you improve your performance. Because at the end of the day, beginning of the day, you made a map. कि आज मुझे ये सब चीजें complete करनी है. Then you're firm with yourself. Then you challenge yourself because your motivation factor and your driving factor should be very, very clear. Once you do that, then you ease the pressure कि आज मेरा ये काम पूरा हो गया. और डॉक्टर वसुधा नीलमणि बार बार घूम के आ रही हैं कहीं से because of a technical issue. Okay, there seems to be something else, so I have to add. All right. So make a small diary and write down every day what you need to do. History, for example, and subjects which is a lot of theory. You know, there are some important dates and important events or certain things that you learn, the concepts that you learn. A very effective way of doing it is try and write that down as an abbreviation. For example, anything that has about, say, six things that you have to learn together. So you do something like BOPDAT, BOPDAT. So the moment you hear about that particular question, you remember an abbreviation called BOPDAT, which is easier to remember than remember the whole thing. But please, for God's sake, do remember what is B, what is O, what is P, what is D, what is A, what is T. Because if you forget what is BOPDAT, no one in the world understands the meaning of BOPDAT other than you. ठीक है? And if you forget that, फिर तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So write down BOPDAT in that important formula wala book or that important concepts wala book and see BO ये है, and remember that इस सवाल के लिए और इस concept के लिए ये वाला abbreviation. So these little tips ease the pressure of learning, improve the performance on giving an exam, and increase the efficiency when you give an exam. And for subjects like physics, chemistry, maths, statistics, etc., practice, practice, practice. There is no alternative. There is no alternative. If you've done something before, do it again. If you have done something before, do it again. You know, it is such a strange concept, and I'd like to introduce you to this today in a very small way. It's interesting how often doing something once is never good enough for us. Let's take simple tasks that we do every day. Breathing, eating, bathing, washing, drinking water. एक बार तो नहीं करते ना हम इसको, बार बार करते हैं। और बार बार करने से क्या हो जाता है, अनकॉन्शियसली हमारे जहन में बहुत सारी चीजें तो बैठ जाती हैं कि हमें बिना सोचे कुछ चीजें अपने आप ही होने लग जाती हैं. This is just paying attention to our needs. The moment we are able to pay attention to our important thoughts, important goals, important motivation factors, important driving factors, important reward points, and why we are doing something, we start paying attention to that and attending to that every day, every day, every day. That becomes a habit, and that becomes a nature within us. We can micro adjust our approach to preparation for an exam by ensuring that this can happen again and again. So let's do this. Practice, practice, practice is an extremely important concept for subjects that we only need to small notebook also. Let's now come towards the end of a monologue. After that, I'd like to have a few minutes of an interactive session, if at all that is possible today, because we've already crossed our time. 1, challenge yourself. 2, push yourself. 3, identify why you are doing what you do. 4, what is your motivation factor? 5, bring clarity to your goals कि कहीं पहुंचना है जिंदगी में और वहां पहुंच के रहना है. Be firm with yourself. Push yourself. Your solutions lie within your own self. I used the word accomplishment in the beginning of this talk. I didn't use the word achievement. What is an accomplishment? Accomplishment is completion of small tasks on a daily basis. It is not going up on the stage to receive an award. It is just completion of small tasks on a daily basis is accomplishment. When you accomplish something on a daily basis and tick those boxes saying done, 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 it's a great motivation. It's a great confidence booster. And it also ensures that you push your boundaries much more. Accomplish small tasks every day. Write down, accomplish. If today you're studying 7 hours a day, next week move to 8.5 hours a day. The week after, move to 10 hours a day. Do not compromise on sleep, nutrition, and hydration, and exercise at least twice a day. Remember, boys and girls, there is no shortcut. We are not like machines. Artificial intelligence can make intelligent machines, but no one can make wise machines. बुद्धिजीवियों में और वो इंसान जो अपने विवेक का प्रयोग करते हैं, उनमें फर्क है. Practice smartly, practice wisely, and prepare to the optimum of your ability. It is extremely important to understand that we must prepare to the optimum of our ability, because you define your success. And the key to success is to start before you're ready. Never forget that. The key to success is to start before you're ready. Once you're ready, you have to prepare. Then you become common like anybody else. Then what makes you special? If you want to be special, you need to prepare, start preparing before you're ready. And you have to do all this because success is never, ever given in life. Success is earned. कामयाबी आपको कोई देता नहीं है, कामयाबी कमानी पड़ती है अपने प्रयासों से, अपने विवेक से और अपने ज्ञान से। और कामयाब हम तभी होंगे जब हमारे सामने कोई मंजिल होगी, एक मकसद होगा, एक लक्ष्य होगा। लक्ष्य हमने बनाने। जब हमारे पास लक्ष्य नहीं होते तो हम सब जगह जा रहे होते हैं, कहीं भी नहीं जा रहे। That is the beauty of setting a goal. If you do not have a goal, you are going everywhere and you're going nowhere. So these few words, well, there have been lots of words actually, and a lot of technical glitches, and Dr. Vasudha ma'am going in and out of the session because of a technical error. I apologize for all these uncontrollables that we had today, and I hope to improve because I want to do the session once again for those who were able to miss it out and those who are not able to attend. Please spread the word. We'll talk about a few more different topics and a few more of these same. And when we meet again, you can write down a lot of your questions and we'll have more of interaction to address your specific questions. You can contact me on my email, life@liveyourknowledge.com. I repeat my email, life, L-I-F-E, @liveyourknowledge.com. Life@liveyourknowledge altogether.com. Have any questions? You want me to start coaching and counseling you for a better preparation for the exams? Feel free, call me, spread the word. I hope that we'll be able to join more life journeys and make this a higher success rate going forward for all of you. God bless you all. Thank you very much. If my colleague Shreya is hearing me, I just want to know, Shreya, are we going to wind up the session or are we going to have a question and answer session? Because I'd like to then read the questions or at least hear the questions from somebody.